Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, Hasbanallahu wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's Thursday. And today is Throwback Thursday. So we will do a lot of throwback. I want to take you back to the Gold Mafia documentary that was published by Aljazeera, that international network. There's a portion that mentions our president. Listen to that portion.
Exotic tenders, construction of roads, procurement, supplying different things, oil, this and there, all the politicians get taken care of indirectly, which is what allows me to do all my other stuff freely.
So the government contracts is the way you reward the politicians, basically.
So what happens? The government will give me a contract. There's a lot of commissions involved. You want a commission, he wants a commission.
Commissions in international laws of anti-corruption is basically synonymous with bribery. So when he says commissions, I hear bribes.
The second oldest senior politician and you do a contract. You're not going to tell the whole world you're getting 10%. No one can tell you. But you trust me, so you say, I'll keep it with you.
Matthias acts as a bank for corrupt leaders.
I earn the commission for them. Then it's a matter of they tell me, okay, pay that, move it here, move that. So for example, Ghana government, Matthias Holding, I get the contract. I subcontracted to you. $100 million contract, Ghana government pays me $100 million. I give it to you and you say it's $80 million.
The contract is inflated $20 million above its real cost.
If I have an agreement with that, then you get proceed. So now we probably $5 million.
Matthias banks the $15 million for the corrupt politicians until they need it.
It's like all of it, everybody. And wherever they want it, sub me as that's how I do it.
So that was a portion of the documentary by Al Jazeera, Gold Mafia, in which our president was mentioned, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now, subsequent to this, a man who manages the president's social media and is also a lawyer to the president, an international lawyer, a young man like me, he put out a tweet. Lawyer Koy Sumad, he said that these allegations were spurious. And you remember that I had asked questions. I said, if indeed these allegations are spurious and they are false and fake and all of that, because that's a synonym for spurious, he should actually have tagged Al Jazeera. Please put out the tweet for me. Should actually have tagged Al Jazeera, and we should have seen that a very strong approach had been taken. He says the president has not been in private practice since 2000. Neither has the president nor his law firm, Akufo-Addo Prempeh & Co., acted as lawyer for this Alistair Macias or Gold Rust. The president does not know this Macias or Gold Rust. Ignore the spurious allegations. Note the word spurious. It will appear in the next thing. Then, subsequently, after I had asked these questions, and I'd asked why Al Jazeera had not been tagged in this, because they have a very active Twitter handle. A letter was written from the office of the president by the executive secretary to the president, another lawyer of international repute, Nana Santi Bedieto, who is the executive secretary of the president. Now, in that letter, they made a specific demand of Al Jazeera to retract and apologize. Now, note, the allegations were made against Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He was mentioned as president, but this was a subject relating to him being a lawyer in practice. So never mind that we are using state resources to try and clear a private matter, just like we did when the first lady was accused by a private radio station, a radio presenter, and we used state apparatus to go and pick him up and deal with him. Never mind. But this was the letter. Now, read the first paragraph only. It says, I am instructed by the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to demand formally that Al Jazeera Media Network, Al Jazeera, retract immediately and apologize for airing an inaccurate and unfair documentary that contained spurious, you know the word, you see the word, spurious and unsubstantiated allegations against the president and the government of Ghana. This was what was written. Let's go to the next page. It gave Al Jazeera 7 days.
3FM.
7 days within which to answer. 7 days. Go up a bit for me. Come down a bit for me. 7 days within which to answer. It says it is imperative, paragraph 2, that you act forthwith on this request within 7 days from the date of the receipt of this letter. So we are curious here, and we want to find out exactly what had happened within this time, because this was issued on the 25th of April. So now we are in May. We want to understand the 7 days. Are they up? Are they not up? Has Al Jazeera answered? Have they not answered? Then we wrote an email. Please pull out that email for me. The first one, not the response from Al Jazeera. The first one. Now, we wrote an email, and I've blacked out the names because we know how vindictive we are. I said, well, we wrote it to the right to reply because, you know, there was a letter circulating that is supposed to have been written to Matthias, and it was from Al Jazeera, and the right to reply, that was the email. So he said, dear sir, madam, I am so and so, a journalist based in Ghana, working with TV3 Ghana. I wish to make some inquiries on the undercover piece titled Gold Mafia, published by Al Jazeera. The President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has in a letter, letter circulated in the media, says that he has formally written to Al Jazeera to retract and apologize to him for publishing a documentary in which one, Alistair Matthias, made claims of the following. 1, I formally and personally knowing the president. 2, the president was his lawyer before he became president. I wish to be updated on the following. A, has Ghana's president's letter seeking retraction and apology been received? B, is there any possibility of Al Jazeera retracting and apologizing to the president of Ghana? And C, prior to airing the Gold Mafia documentary, did Al Jazeera write to Ghana's president regarding the claims by Alistair Matthias, and what was his response? I hope to receive a favorable response from you. Thank you. I won't give you the name. Let's go to Al Jazeera's response. These were the questions we put to Al Jazeera because those were the same questions we had asked here on Johnny's Bite. Now, Al Jazeera writes back. It doesn't sign, no, but it says, no, I want the other one with the email. So there's another Al Jazeera one with the email and all of that, so people don't think that we are making this up. And Al Jazeera chose to respond to us on World Press Freedom Day. So the question we are asking, if I read the letter to you, the question we are asking is Al Jazeera willing to retract and apologize? We'll get the answer from it. Number 2, if indeed, good, this is it. Now, you see, we wrote with a Gmail account, and it says to Al Jazeera, from Al Jazeera's investigative unit, write to reply at aljazeera.net. Date is May 3, 2023. They responded at 4:46 p.m. Standard encryption, Dear, I'll tell you who the name is. Thank you for your inquiry. Remember the questions we asked. And it says, we have responded to the letter from the President of the Republic of Ghana, correcting some parts of its content and clarifying various points. Question number 1. Government of Ghana, Kowe Suman, Nana Santi Bedie Tokojo Opon Kruma, all who speak for the government, Eugene Ahin. Where is the response from Al Jazeera? Because you publicized this letter you wrote to Al Jazeera and talking tough and saying you want them to retract and apologize. Now I'm asking you, they say they have responded to the letter from Al Jazeera to the president and have corrected some parts of this content and clarified various points. So they have written to you. Question that Ghanaians want to know is, where is that letter and why have you kept it under wraps? If you are really interested in fighting Galamsey and clearing the name of the president and not depraving the presidency, as Mustafa Hamid said, show us the response. 2, prior to the publication of Gold Mafia, we wrote to the president outlining the claims made by Alistair Matthias. The president's response appears near the end of the documentary. So it is true that they wrote to the president, got his response. Now they say they have also answered the questions within the 7 days that Asante Bidioto said. So if you are Ghanaian and you are not blinded by party colors, you would actually be demanding from the government and the president of the republic that if he says he's not complicit, Al Jazeera by this response says, we have written to you, we have corrected parts of the content, we have clarified various points, which means that they are not ready to retract and apologize. And then we as Ghanaians, because the president is not president of a small village, the president is president of the whole country, we are interested in the response that was given. Now it says towards the end of the documentary, the president's response came. Please put up just one of them. Towards the end, the president's response came. Let's put up that so that we see what Al Jazeera put. They put it in the documentary, what the response was. The screenshot from the documentary, the Gold Mafia itself, the part 4, episode 4 of the Gold Mafia. It says President Akufo-Addo told us that he had no recollection of acting as lawyer for Alistair Matthias or his company. That is what they said. But Al Jazeera went ahead and put it in the documentary. They said they have written. Now, this is the charge to you from former gender minister and former women organizer of the New Patriotic Party, who says that criticism of a political regime is not because you hate an individual. Criticism of a political regime is because you want to spur them on to do better. Criticism of the political regime is because achia emuye. Criticism of a political regime is not because you don't like them. Criticism of a political regime is to make them do what is right by Ghanaians because Ghanaians voted for them. That's my final video. Please play Otiko Jaba's video for me. And Otiko Jaba maybe has won my heart because just as she's won the heart of the school feeding caterers, we are planning to plant trees.
I want to see my government that I believe in to set up. It's not about breaking the 8. It's about solving the problems of the people of Ghana. That is why you are elected. I have nothing to be peeved about. I have so much joy for my party. And I'm very proud of them. Achia emuye. But we must be serious. And so the appointees, the ministers must understand that it is a privilege to be in this position. You will never get it again.